Farmers, trust is everything. At Genesis Fertilizers, we're not just proposing to build a facility, we're building a future designed for you. With real progress already underway, we're closer to providing Western Canadian farmers with a reliable, locally produced fertilizer supply. Now is the time to take control of your farm's future. Learn more at genesisfertilizers.com/credibility.
Well, the Milk Business Conference, hosted by Farm Journal, is in Las Vegas this week. Host of Real Ag Radio, Shaun Haney, joins us now with the latest. First of all, Shaun, are you roping at all? Have you gotten on the back of a steer? What's going on in addition to this milk conference?
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been in Las Vegas here for the past day, and there is no doubt about it. There is a significant amount of cowboys and cowgirls in town for the NFR. Rodeo is definitely in the air in Las Vegas this week.
Absolutely. So much fun. In addition to that, of course, the milk conference topics. Let's talk about that. What's being discussed this week?
Yeah, great agenda being put on here the last couple days here in Las Vegas. And some of the key topics I've heard from some of the speakers, talk about where's the U.S. consumer going on dairy consumption. We've seen some higher prices in 2024 that have been backed off, the consumer kind of pushing back on some of that demand. What needs to happen in order for the U.S. consumer to kind of pick some of that consumption back up. A lot of talk about the incoming Trump administration and what's going to happen with immigration policy. Shortage of labor is a huge issue for the U.S. dairy industry. There's a lot of talk about what's going to happen with people that are in the country illegally. What does that mean for the U.S. dairy industry trying to make sure that we have enough supply of staff and workers on dairy farms across the country? And there's going to be a great presentation this afternoon. I'm looking forward to it. There's a professor from Texas Tech University talking about beef on dairy and kind of trying to, I'm interested in trying to get a better handle on, have we seen the top of that, or is there still room for growth? And of course, trade. There is no shortage of trade talk, expanding markets for U.S. dairy products. And of course, at the reception yesterday, I had a lot of people bumping into me asking about, hey, how's Canada going to react to the incoming Trump administration on dairy?
Yeah, you're going to be able to, of course, straddle that line. That's going to be interesting. Not only are you attending and you're learning from this conference, you're going to be speaking as well, right? Tell us about your panel.
Yeah, a panel hosted by U.S. Farm Report's Tyne Morgan. There's three of us on the panel. We're talking about dairy policy and trade. And one of my messages, or one of the things I'm going to communicate to the audience here, is that I see the Trump administration really trying to enforce some of the things in terms of the USMCA, things they previously negotiated. And if you use dairy as the example, it's kind of in question right now. Is the U.S. going to push for more dairy access into Canada, or are they going to be able to settle for Canada to follow the TRQ allocation definitions that the U.S. has versus how Canada has interpreted that text? Remember, we had two dispute panels. Canada won 3 of the 4 points, but the most important point went towards the Americans. And so that enforcement of those TRQ allocations and how the incoming Trump administration, how they deal with that, I think is going to give an indication on what they do in some of these other commodities around the world.
Now, Shaun, overall, I mean, right, here we are. We're trying to figure out where we're going to go. What are the next steps? A lot of uncertainty in this sector. What's the overall feel? What are you getting from everybody that is attending this conference? What are people saying?
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of optimism from some of the dairy producers I talked to last night at the reception. I think overall in the livestock industry, whether it's dairy or it's beef, for example, we've seen a reduction in those feed costs, and that has really presented an opportunity for people to feel a little bit better about their margins. It hasn't been great for row crop farmers, but it definitely has helped out the livestock sector. And if you think about dairy specifically, you think about what's happened and look at some of the numbers on beef on dairy programs from the genetic side. It's presented a real profit center or opportunity for revenue diversification for dairy operations. When you're getting somewhere between $800 $1,000 for a calf, that is some found money for a lot of dairy producers. So there's been a lot of talk here in the last couple of days about beef on dairy and where it goes from here from a genetic side.
That's going to be interesting. Shaun, have a great time there, of course, at the conference. By the way, I'm not sure if you realize this, there are a lot of side competitions outside the Thomas and Mack for amateur ropers. You can walk away with a couple of thousand. You might want to give it a go, no?
I'd have to find myself a horse first, but you know what? I'm up for it.
Well done. Shaun, thank you so much. Of course, the NFR happening out there as well as the Milk Conference. Host of Real Ag Radio, that is Shaun Haney. You want to catch Shaun's show, Real Ag Radio, which airs 4:30 p.m. Eastern weekdays on Rural Radio Channel 147 and Sirius XM. Love having Shaun and his team join us here on Market Day Report.